Well, after months of planning and preparation, the day is finally here. We're gonna get this 2,000-pound behemoth off of the blocks and sitting on the new slab. That's what's going on today on Farmer Tyler Ranch. Well, I think I'm all ready to go here. The plan is to just pull in, pick this up, and I think I'm gonna strap it to the forks to avoid it kind of teeter-tottering on there. And then I should just kind of be able to back up and pull it straight in here, you know. If everything goes the way I've got it planned, it's gonna be really easy. We got forks poking out the other side, so I think I'll try to lift it up a little bit just to make sure I got it, and then we'll throw the straps over it and start moving it around. And real quick, the reason that I'm tying it down onto the forks, and I've never had to do this before, is because this time I'm lifting it up from the bottom. Why am I doing that? Because there is a wire that goes across right here. If I try to pick the chute up from the top like I did when I unloaded it, or like when they loaded it, I would hit that wire. So by picking it up from the bottom, I'll have enough clearance to get under this wire and set it on the slab. Well, this has been a very slow process, but I've been being really careful to not hit things. And I think I'm pretty close right here. The chute, when I pulled in here, it drug the ground and it got a little bit cockeyed on the forks. And if I can just straighten it out and set it down, it'll be in almost the perfect spot. So I don't really want to move the tractor because I think the tractor is fine where it is. But what I think I will do is hook a come-along strap up to the frame of the chute here on the corner and just kind of try to pull it and pivot it on the forks until I get it where I want it, and then I can set it down. And I just so happen to have a come-along right here. I'm using this strap because I can thread it in right where I want it. We're getting awful close. I think now it's just kind of fine tuning, you know, a couple inches this way, a couple inches that way. So I think what I'll do, I'll set it down and get the tractor off of it, because if I ever have to pull it with the come along that way, I'll probably use the tractor to tie off onto, so I got something to pull against. but we're getting close. What I really need right now is a second come along that I don't have. So I'm gonna see if just this strap is strong enough. I just gotta slide this back in a little ways. Well, I spared you guys the roughly hour of meticulous measuring and moving it a 1/4 inch this way, a 1/4 inch that way. I get a little obsessive. I want this to be in the perfect spot, and I just kept telling myself I didn't come this far to start cutting corners now. So I think I've got this sitting in the absolute perfect spot, right where I want it. It's perfectly centered with the alleyway, and it's perfectly square on the slab. The head gate has plenty of room. This post here is further that way than the edge of the chute, so the post will not interfere with them leaving the chute at all. There is no interference with the head holder, no interference on the butt gate. The only thing I haven't tested, and it's actually a pretty important thing, is the head gate, but I can clearly see there's plenty of clearance all around it. There's no way anything is going to interfere with that. I will get the head lever on before the day's over and just verify that, but I honestly can't see how there could be any sort of issue up here. So what I'm trying to tell you is I've got this sitting right where I want it, and now I want to pick it up and put the load bars underneath of it. But I think that I am done with this tractor, so I can run this one back home and get my truck back over here so that I'll have any other sort of tools that I might need. I've got a high lift jack in the truck too that might work just fine for picking this thing up on either end to slide those in and out. So let's get the big New Holland moved back home. I think we're done with it. It did awesome. Well, I'm back with the truck, so now the next step is I've got to figure out a way to lift up either end of this chute to swap things out. So I feel like I'm repeating myself, but you know, maybe I am. What's the first thing you do before you use farm jack? Give it about a half a can of penetrating oil. What do you think? Is this dangerous? Idea anymore. That probably would have worked, but once the chute got up off the blocks, it was real shaky, and if I let go of the jack, it just kind of would have fallen off to the side like that. So I'm not a huge fan of doing it that way. We're gonna think of something else. I'll have to put the 3-point forks on the tractor, and then I think I could just lift that pipe with them, because once the chute gets off the ground or off the blocks, it won't be so shaky like it was on the high lift. I was kind of trying to avoid getting the tractor in here just because when you're using a jack, it's just so much more precise. There's a lot more feel that you have while you're lifting things up than you would have with the tractor 3-point. But I'll tell you what, the 3-point makes it pretty easy too. put these right here as a safety, you know, in case it were to fall for whatever reason, these boards will catch it. I think we're pretty good here on the front. Now I've got to lift up the back. All right, I think that'll do it. Well, there she sits, and I can't tell you how glad I am that I went ahead and tore that old slab out and poured a new slab, did things the right way. The finished product is just 100 times better than what it would have been. The load bars are sitting really flat on that slab. I mean, I could probably put some shims in there, but I think the biggest space we have is like 1/8 of an inch or less. So it's a lot better. For comparison, on my old setup, one of the corners I had to shim so much that I had over 1 inch of shims to get everything to sit right. And this appears to be sitting pretty flat. I don't think it will teeter-totter. I actually haven't tried yet. A little bit. It will a little bit. So, but that's not that big of a deal. I don't think I have enough room to even put grout under here. I think I can just stick a couple of washers that I cut a side out, and then when I put the anchors in, we should be good to go. Well, I've been trying everything out, playing with everything, and it seems like it's gonna work great. There was one clearance issue that I was anticipating might be a problem, but it actually ends up that I don't think it's gonna be. And that is on the tub, on the swing gate. I was worried that when it was open completely, it would like hit the chute or hit this handle. But as it turns out, this handle lifts up and it kind of hooks on the gate and holds it open. So it actually worked out to be not just not a problem, but it actually solves a problem as well. Because a lot of times I would like tie that open sometimes if it was windy and the gate was flying around. So you can see everything fits here good. The only thing is you wouldn't be able to open this side of the vet cage with this gate open, but it's hard to imagine a scenario when that would be necessary. So I'm kind of picturing how this would all work. Once I get my cows moved up here to the front of the tub, I can just grab the gate, the handle slides right off. Go ahead and shut that. I'm thinking if I have my paddle or something, I could, you know, with a single cow at least, you could kind of walk them up the alleyway here, and once she gets in the chute, I can just pull this and close it behind her, which is really nice. I was not able to do that with the other chute. I would have had to been on the other side to close the tailgate. So I can pretty much operate everything except for the body squeeze from here. And I can see a lot of scenarios when that might come in handy. If you remember, one of my big problems with my old chute was that when I opened the head gate, it really didn't give the cows enough room to comfortably walk out of it. This might be one of my favorite things about the Arrowquip is with the head gate open and the tailgate open, it just looks like one big alleyway. There's no obstruction, there's nothing to trip on, there's nothing to squeeze through. It's just wide open. And just look how much lower it is as you exit. I'd have to go back and check, but I think the measurement I took, the down step out of the old chute was like 7 inches or something like that. And this is significantly less than that. This really just turned out exactly how I hoped it would. So the next thing that'll need to happen is we need to run some cows through it, and I think the first cows that are going to go through are going to be the yearlings, because they need to get branded, vaccinated, and moved to the steer pasture. But before that happens, I need to put all this back together, because I'm not going to be able to really work them in here with this big open hole. But that's not going to happen today. It'll have to wait till tomorrow. Thanks for hanging out with me today, guys, and I hope I'll see you again on Farmer Tyler Ranch.